Peter.
Yes.
Welcome to Expo 25. Thank you for being here.
It's great to be here.
Cheers. Sound ideas.
Yes.
How did sound ideas start? Where's sound ideas from? I know this name from somewhere. Where is it from?
Yeah, it was actually Brian Inman started the company.
Okay.
And he actually owned a recording studio in Toronto. And the first Sound Ideas sound effects library was out of that studio at 86 McGill Street, which is just a couple blocks away from here.
Okay.
So that was the home of Sound Ideas. We've been around since the 70s.
Okay.
Brian started the company with one tape library, actually. So
Okay.
he had sound effects on tape.
Yeah.
We were lucky enough to become the first company to have a sound effects library available on compact disc. So that was kind of earth-shattering in the 80s.
So I remember being a kid,
Yeah.
and I had access to a copy of a sound, because they didn't want to touch the originals.
Right.
They made a dub of it.
Yeah.
So sound ideas, like there was reel-to-reels that they were selling?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was available as reel-to-reel and also LP, actually.
Oh, it was an LP,
Sound
okay.
effects on LPs, but the LPs were distributed by another company. We always did it on reel-to-reel tape.
Okay.
Until the CD libraries came out.
So at one point in time, I imagine there was like a bunch of reel-to-reel machines running all day, dubbing stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, before my time, there was some guys working in the basement at 86 McGill, and from what I understand, it was a 24/7 operation.
Wow.
Because it took a long time to dub.
Yeah,
sound
real-time,
effects,
yeah.
real-time
Yeah.
dubbing
Okay.
onto reel-to-reel. Yeah.
Very cool. So
Yeah.
when Sound Ideas makes a sound effect or captures a sound effect,
Yeah.
are they doing it through contract, or are they doing it through necessity? Like how does Sound Ideas come up with a soundtrack?
So
or a
first
sound
of
effect?
all, we are very interactive with our clients. So we do take client suggestions.
Okay.
And we actually have a spot on our website where people can email the president of the company and make a suggestion for sounds or libraries or
Okay.
whatever type of audio that they need. And we'll look at those, and if there's enough interest in a certain category, then we
Right.
will contract engineers to record the sounds. We also do acquire existing sound libraries from very well-respected and well-known people. We have the Mike McDonough sound effects library, Frank Serafini sound effects library, and several others. And but we do record a lot of our own sounds as well. So we have a small recording studio where we do some recording, but a lot of field recording, and obviously, we contract people worldwide. So if there's something that's listed and it's based in Europe, it's been recorded in Europe. Asia, it's been recorded in Asia, and basically we contract people to do that recording.
So with now, I imagine you're distributing online.
Yep.
You're distributing MP3 wave file, high resolution stuff.
Absolutely.
Are you re-recording these things, or are you going back to the original recordings and trying to get the best you can out of them?
Everything we record now, we're recording at the highest resolution possible. So
Okay.
if something is available in 2496, it was likely recorded in 2496.
Okay.
We did, for some of the older libraries, we did go through a very extensive upsampling process, which was detailed and took a long time. But all of the new stuff, probably in the last 10 years for sure, it's 2448 minimum, 2496 is our preferred method of recording now.
When it comes to sound effects, somebody once told me that every sound is mono, but at the same time, we're now having sounds that are immersive and ambisonic. Has Sound Ideas ventured into more depth of field type of sound recordings?
Absolutely. We've sold 5.1 libraries for a couple of decades now.
Okay.
We just released our first ambisonic library.
Very good.
And that's going very well. It's been very well received. It was obviously a lot of work, but if there's a need in the industry, and that was one of the things that came from client requests.
Okay.
And the ambisonic library, so that came out, I believe, this year. And it's doing quite well, and they're liking it, so we're happy.
When you are watching television or anything, do you recognize some of your sound effects? Do you have like a logbook of like, oh, that's one of ours?
I personally don't do that, but Brian, who started the company, can recognize the sounds that he initially recorded from decades ago. And there are certain sounds that we release that get used a lot that many of us do recognize when we hear them.
Can you copyright a sound effect? Like, what is it like nowadays? Like, who owns a sound effect? What are some of the copyright implications of sound effects?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question. So one of the benefits of Sound Ideas is we do own the copyright to all of our content, and we can distribute it worldwide without any problems whatsoever. So if somebody, in this day and age, you do a project, you don't know if where it's going to be broadcast. It could be North America, it could be East Asia, it could be the Middle East, it could be Africa. But because we control the worldwide copyright on our sounds, there's no challenges there whatsoever.
Interesting. So have people, like, when you say challenges, like, you mean like legal challenges to a copyright sound effect?
Yeah. So in the old days, there were companies that controlled the copyright for North America.
Okay.
But if that production got distributed in Europe, they would have to deal with a different company to clear the sounds.
Right. And because they're recordings, they're mechanically, their rights are on the record, so to speak, and you'd have to log which sound effect you used in your production, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, I think people do.
Yeah.
We don't require that, but I'm sure that a producer will log all the sounds that they use. So they have a record of it. Absolutely.
Very interesting. Yeah. When it comes down to licensing sound effects or using your library, are people buying collections? Like, you're not selling plastic anymore.
No.
Like, you're getting a license to access your website. How does it work?
So we have a couple of different business models. The newest model is online access.
Okay.
So you can get a subscription from us and license a certain number of downloads. And you still have access to all the 600,000 sounds on our site. And we also have music as well, so the 40,000 music tracks. And you can audition them and just download what you want to use. And so there's a lot of people that have unlimited downloads. They can download as much as they want, but there's some people that for a lower fee would just want 100 a year, 200, 300, whatever. We can structure it based on their needs. But they still have access to the entire library. And we still sell, our biggest part of our business is still selling libraries. But now the libraries are downloads now.
Yeah, so you just one click and get a zip file or...
some of the larger libraries, it takes a while, right?
Okay,
so I usually recommend people do it overnight, but because some of the libraries are quite large in multiple gigabytes.
So when you're, now a back-end question for the website, like, you're talking multiple gigabytes of raw wave files. Yeah. Like, how are you hosting this? Is it like somebody's computer in a kitchen? Obviously not. Like, I imagine it's a server farm that's serving these things up.
I'm not involved in that, to be honest with you, but I know that we do host it off-site. Okay. And the download speed is actually pretty good. So it's another company that we've contracted to do that.
Okay. Yeah. But in terms of data retention and stuff like that, like you say, you may not be your thing, but like, is there like multiple copies of the Sound Ideas library? Are there backups of it someplace?
We have backups. We have multiple backups.
Okay. Very cool. Yeah. I find the Sound Idea. I didn't know it was a Toronto startup company. I think that's an absolutely fantastic thing. So how's the show been for you? What brings you to an exposition and being involved in the AES? I've seen you at trade shows, NAB. You're always at NABs. Yeah. You're doing all that stuff. Yeah. What is it? What's so special about the Toronto exposition that you've seen?
Well, I will say that I believe it was a promo that we saw in a third-party email campaign. Okay. And I actually brought it to the attention of the management of the company. They looked at it. They said, let's give it a run, and we put it together with Toronto AES. It's been a pretty good show. I mean, it's very good. It was a little bit late notice for some of our clients. I gotcha. Yeah. But I hope they continue doing it. It's been good. You get to chat with local producers. Yeah. Obviously a lot of students because of where we are, which is great to talk to students in the industry they basically know more than I do.
I get that. I get that.
But no, it's been a good show. I hope they continue to do it.
Cheers. Well, thanks for coming by and thanks for chatting.
My pleasure.
Fantastic day.